All right, we put the airfoil to work on this one. Got it pretty ready. Airfoil on this one, flatten that hump out, that's ready. And I took the trunk down from where I put mud on it yesterday. I put more mud here, put more body filler here. And also I worked this side. There's just a transition that just wasn't working between the trunk and this fender, where there was a raised area in there, and instead of hammering it down because it was about the size of a quarter, I decided to put a skim coat of filler and we'll sand it back out again for like the 6th time there. And I'll bring this out a little bit. They'll be pretty close. I probably need to go in here and bring this out some more so it's less curvy like that one is. To be like this one is. You can see that one there versus this one here. They're close. They're pretty close. You may notice a difference looking across the back of the car. I don't know yet. I'll put my 2-inch round block on it and see what the contour on that side looks like versus this side. I may have to do this side also to make it even as possible. We got the trunk expanded and brought out this way and flush with the back of the trunk opening. I just got some guide coat on there, so I'll go ahead and hand sand all this down. I did this side, I got this side even, then we decided to bring this out a little bit to make that work, and may have to do the same thing on that side. I don't know yet. It's not a lot. It's just probably like 1/8 of an inch of body filler, and it's just to make the transition even between the fender hump and the other hump, so all these humps flow together. Hindsight, do it all in metal and then fiberglass molds and 3D scans and all that kind of stuff, but we don't have that kind of stuff, so we got to do it with measurement tools and lasers, and yeah. Anyway, time lapse it is. Alright, let's clean it up with our sanding block, aka paint stick, with some paper wrapped around it. Now let's check our fit on the trunk. I've gone through and cut this in, as you guys saw previously with the vibrating tool. And then I'm taking a sanding block or this paint stick with a piece of 80 or 120 wrapped around it, and going in and sanding back into the body away from the door. As we filled the door jamb up with fiberglass and then body filler to bring it closer to the door so we can get this line nice and straight. And the finished product will be a paint stick that slides right into the finished product will be a paint stick that slides right into this gap. So as you see right there, we are just about at the right space. And you can see up here, some of this dust out of the way. We've started sanding here. The paint stick fits just inside that gap there. So we'll be able to rock that gap all the way down through here, all the way down, and then turn it all the way across that way. It's a little bit time consuming. Just take your time whenever you're working on getting these gaps right. You don't want to over sand, because if you over sand, you have to fill, and then you gotta go through the process again. So just take your time, check it every few minutes as you're working. That way you don't go too far, and you'll have nice straight lines. Something interesting I found out on this Dodge is I had my level set up here. I use a laser when I'm trying to make sure things are straight, and I found out that the door, let me turn this on this vehicle, if you look, is not a straight line, but it's actually a curve. Let me see if I can get it. So down here, the laser is outside the door line or the door gap line, and then it's in the center of the door gap line, then it's to the inside of the door gap line, and then it's back to the outside of the door gap line. So the door on this Dodge actually has a slight bow in it, and it curves back towards the back of the car. so was not able to use a level to get the line straight, so we'll just have to follow the contour of the body in this case. So just a quick one for you. Sometimes lines that are straight or look straight or appear to be straight aren't exactly straight. Sometimes you just have to trust your judgment. Can't even rely on a tool. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to work. All right, so you guys have seen the action of the sanding, I'm sure. You can see that gap there, nice and even all the way down. Just taking our time, shaving it back a little bit at a time. And where's my paint stick at? We are right where we want to be at. Yep, right where we want to be at. See the paint stick there? Slides in there nice and snug. All the way down through the door. So that is what you're after. And once you got that, I would go back, because these edges are going to be sharp if you're using a flat sanding device or a block, and just lightly roll your edges back on either side. That'll keep your paint nice and smooth on the transition to the corners. Also keeps you from having a very sharp edge which can be easily damaged. So yeah, that's how you create a door jamb gap and make it proper on a vehicle that maybe was banged up, beat up, or is just really, really old and has had a rough life. That's the process. And you can see here, it's pretty consistent from here all the way down. If you're wondering about this gap at the top, there's a piece of trim that runs from up there, comes straight across back here, and actually covers up this section of the door. So that's why I didn't go all the way up in here. But that is it. It gives you an idea. I'm gonna get back to work and finish working the other side of the car as well as the rest of the bottom. Process is basically the same. Backfill the door jamb up to the door. You don't have to go all the way. I went all the way, then I took a vibrating tool and cut the door back in. If your door jamb is not real bad, you have a couple areas that are off, then you can just fill those areas in. This one, I pretty much did the whole door jamb. On the Paul Hunter Camaro, there were a couple sections like at the top of the door, maybe at the bottom that were off, and I extended those, but the majority of the door jamb was okay. In this case, we had to rework everything, and the owner actually reworked all the metal, which was not there before. So he did really all the hard work. I'm just doing the fine tuning. So when the paint lays down, you have a smooth transition from the door to the body, and it looks like, well, better than it came from the factory. My name's Erwin. This Through Us in a Block. In the next video, we will be making more progress on this Dodge convertible, and I am really excited to say it's time to spray it, but we're not there yet. So we're going to work the fenders to the door. Since we worked the door to the body, I already made some adjustments on the hood, getting it tighter to the cowl, so that closes good. And we should be pretty close. I've got my fenders over here on the body stands, taking care of a little bit of work on the fenders, not a whole lot here. Then we'll get them up to the car, fit them again, get them bolted in their almost final resting position so we can see how my body lines from the back of that fender to the front of this door work. And then we should be good. So that said, my name's Erwin. This is Through Us in a Block. We're giving back, but time is taken away. We'll see you soon.